Okay, so a while ago, the first video that I did on my channel, I talked about this tank and how I wanted to turn it into a shrimp tank. And I had some minnows in here, and I just keep finding more minnow fry, like all the time. I think there's like 8 in there right now. Apparently this is like the perfect setup for minnow breeding, but I wanted to turn it into a shrimp tank. I'm almost thinking about just putting the minnows back in here and then just having this be a minnow breeder. But so I have some updates on this tank and then my other shrimp breeder, because there is a clear winner, like far and away clear winner. One of them, basically, the glass is just covered with baby shrimp. So I'm gonna give you an update on everything that happened with this tank and the other tank that has a lot of shrimp in it. Or this tank had way more shrimp in it. So yeah, I'll tell you all about it. Okay, so I am going to try and experiment with my shrimp breeders. I have, a few different setups going right now. I just bought a bunch. I got 12 neocaridina cherry shrimp. If you can see them, they're jumping all over like popcorn now. They're done getting. I drip acclimated them to this. They've been sitting here for a while, just kind of coming up to temperature, getting used to my water. I tested the water. Everything in here is perfect. Like, it's exactly where I want it to be as far as just all the water parameters go. So these guys should be really happy. This is going to be a monospecies tank. There is, well, okay, I lied. I set it up to be just shrimp only, but I found some baby minnows. There is some minnow fry in here that came from some of my plants. They're very hard to see, but I'll try and catch them on camera. And then there's little snails. So, so I tried to, tried to set up a shrimp only tank, but I ended up with some snails and some minnows hitchhiking in on some plants. So, okay, we're going to put the neocaridina in here. And so I have, a couple different setups going right now. This is the one that's supposed to be pretty much like set up just to be as nice as possible for neocaridina. And you can kind of see in here, I've got like all kinds of stuff, like there's alder cones in here, there's lava rocks, there's almond leaves, cholla cactus. I've got tank buddies that I made, like there's little potted things of Anubias and just all kinds of plants that I want to propagate. And so like pretty much everything is in here, like every kind of plant, aquarium plant that I have. And but these guys, shrimp are like the best keepers of plants. They're the best tenders of plants, I think. They're just super gentle. They are good at getting algae and things off of leaves, whereas like stuff like snails or algae eater, like fish algae eaters, can be kind of rough with plants sometimes. Like I don't know, like plecos or Chinese algae eaters, stuff like them. They can be a little rough, like chewing on leaves and stuff. And then these guys are just, they're the gentlest keepers of plants. So, and then they keep each other really happy. They like to lay their little eggs in like clumps of Java moss and inside little, leafy things. Sawasser tang and any kind of moss and stuff like that. So, but the experiment that I want to try is I want to see what's the best, like the most prolific setup where I get kind of the most shrimp, the most like kind of active shrimp. I have one tank that is very, very densely planted. And then I have this guy where everything in here can just be picked up and moved around in case I need to take shrimp out, or something like that. Or if I mean, ideally I get a bunch of these guys and I need to rehome some of them, right? So everything in here, I can just pick it up and move it. I've got an under gravel filter, I've got a sponge filter, but everything is meant to be portable. And, everything in here is also, it's supposed to be nice for shrimp. So I want to see how happy they are, or whether they would rather be in something that's way more like densely planted. So these are cherry shrimp, and the other ones that I have are all like Blue Dream. I think they're all Blue Dream. So they're very blue. These are very red. So we will definitely be able to tell them apart, tell which is which. Setup number 2. This is my densely planted tank. You can see I've got a little bit of a hair algae. In fact, yeah, a lot of hair algae in here. But the thing is that I'm not really that worried about it right now because the neocaridina like to eat it. So I'm just gonna kind of leave it unless it gets really out of control. You can see they're a little bit harder to see. They're mostly over here, kind of hanging out over here, and then there's a bunch that are just, hiding. So I got even numbers. I got there is 12 Blue Dream in here, and then there are 12 cherry shrimp in the other one. So hopefully, I have counted, I've seen a few buried females in this group. They seem really happy. The nitrates are a little bit higher in this tank because this is a very mature tank. There's a lot of like malm down here that doesn't really have anywhere to go. The plants are super happy, but yeah, they need to take up all of that nitrate and stuff. So I have done water changes. They're low right now. They're around 10, 15 ppm. So that's kind of, 20 is kind of max of where I want it, right around there. Maybe 20 would be like kind of the ideal number, but I'm keeping it lower than that right now because I've heard that once they get above 25, that the shrimp aren't too happy. They're kind of a little more sensitive. Like normally fish, like if they get around 90, then you really need to start doing something. You need to do a big water change. But with shrimp, they're a little more sensitive. But then this has an auto in there, and I've been trying to catch him and put him with the other autos, but he does not want to go. So don't call me out. You have that one little lonely auto. He's not lonely. He doesn't want to go. He likes being in there by himself. And then I have one other tank, which is the community tank, which I'm not ready to show right now because I'm having a diatom algae battle in there. It's in that ugly phase of new tank right now. So I will keep you posted and we will see. Okay, so it's about noon right now. So it's pretty bad glare. Sorry about that. But I got a couple of these things to kind of keep it consistent with like feeding, just to compare and contrast. So all this is it's just a little tube thing that kind of goes, oops, it goes onto the side, and then you drop food in, and then it stays in the little bowl, so you can kind of tell exactly like how much food is getting eaten. Like if I put food in there and then it doesn't get eaten in 24 hours, then I know I'm feeding way too much, right? So, and also I'm going to be feeding everybody the same thing. The little, I don't know if you can see them, but there's little minnow fry in there. There's a couple in there. They're growing super fast too. Got a couple minnow fry, and then they're gonna be getting this stuff, this First Bites stuff, and then basically all I do is I just take like one little finger, just take like that much, and then put it in, like just kind of dab my finger in there, and then that's plenty. So kind of this, I mean, like the other tank is a little bit more active. This tank, last night when I first put the shrimp in, they were just all over, swimming all over. And I think that they were just kind of exploring their new surroundings. But I'm going to go ahead and put this thing together. And then everybody else, the shrimps are going to be getting this stuff. Just everybody seems to love this stuff. So like my crabs, the cories, like everybody seems to really like this stuff. So they're going to be getting some of that. So it's close to lunchtime. These guys have gotten fed, and it seems like they really like their food. They were all kind of on top of it over here a little while ago, and now they're all just kind of all over. One thing though that I think, like, that I've really noticed about this tank versus the other one is that since there's the power head over here, it seems like this one is more active. I think that they like the current. I think that they like to swim around in it, because the cherry shrimp are like nowhere near as active. I also noticed more minnow fry. They're pretty hard to see. They kind of like to hang out over here. But yeah, there's like some new minnow fry. Apparently, before I move the minnows out of here, they laid a lot of eggs and fertilize them. So I keep seeing more. But as they get bigger, I'll be moving them out, all of them. But yeah, this tank is fun to watch just because it's so active. Okay, here's the cherry shrimp tank. And, again, like it's middle of the afternoon. The most active thing around here is, oddly enough, the snails. You can see that there's, let's see, the shrimp, they are like picking at stuff. Everybody's eating their food. Food's almost all gone in here, but you see like there's the snails are in there too, so they're kind of eating the shrimp food too. But everybody's kind of hanging around in here. It's about the same temperature. It's a little bit warmer up here. I'm keeping an eye on the temperature in here. It starts to get into the 80s because this room just gets more natural sun. I'm gonna have to move this. I'm gonna have to move this somewhere else. So, but I do see guys hanging out on the sponge filter, Like I do see shrimp hanging out on the sponge filter a lot, and they love the Jolo cactus and the like almond bark and stuff like that. So I mean, shrimp they just really like that stuff. They like their tank buddies. They like to hang out on the Nubius. Like they like to just sit on the leaves and kind of hang out and like sun themselves and like grab some algae off the leaves and stuff. But they don't swim around anywhere near as much, and I'm convinced that it's because they don't have current to swim against. But the snails are actually like, I mean, you can see the minnow fry in here. They're starting to get big. Like it's crazy how fast they grow. It's nuts. Like a week ago, they were like half that size or less. But yeah, again, like if these guys get big enough, I'm moving them to the community tank. But yeah, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see which one breeds, because if one of them is full of babies, then that's the winner, right? So we'll see. We'll see who gets tons and tons of babies. Okay, so just an update on this guy. I typically I go out of town a lot. I'm I travel like about a week out of the month. Usually, I'm out, and I came back. I was gone. Actually, I was only gone about 4 days. I came back, and there were multiple shrimp deaths, and I have no idea what happened. I found more fry though. There's like it's tough to see. I'll try and get some good footage of all of the minnow fry that are in here. I have no idea what happened though. There's like, I'm just counting right now. I see at least 8 in there. I moved the minnows out, and then there's actually some other ones in another tank that grew to kind of more adult size, and I moved them in with the other minnows. The I'm I so I have no idea what happened. I think that possibly I left, and then I put food in their dish, and I think I left like a slice of cucumber or something in here too. And the only thing that I can think of is that there might have been some kind of an ammonia spike or a nitrogen spike or something. But I'm calling this one a fail. This is the perfect minnow breeder, because I've gotten so many minnows out of here. And I don't know how, some kind of like an ammonia spike or a nitrogen, some kind of spike could have killed off the shrimp, but not killed off all the minnow fry. I have no idea. But, and then I tested the water, and, it's like the water's just fine. And it's a very mature tank. There shouldn't be any ammonia. The only thing that I can think of is that, I left too much food in there, and then something happened. They, I don't know, like the food kind of decomposed or something. But I have learned a lot, from this design. So one thing, I am putting an undergravel filter in all of my tanks from now on. It's just that simple. Like I've seen such a difference in the quality, the health of shrimp in my tanks that have undergravel filters and the ones that don't. So I'm calling this one a fail. I might pull it apart. I really don't want to, because I love this tank. But it's like, if I can't even keep shrimp in here, it's just too small, and I don't know. So I am planning on doing a new display tank, a new, planted tank. So I might just pull everything out of here and put it in a new tank. But that's where I'm at with this one. Okay, so it's kind of early in the morning. It's like 8 a.m. And I went to check on this guy, the other shrimp breeder tank. and it's going to be really, really tough to see. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it on camera, but the glass is just like kind of covered with babies. Just right now, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I see like at least 6, 7, 8, like 8 babies on the glass. So yeah, I'm just calling it. This one is a clear winner as far as a shrimp tank goes. The only problem is that it's, like I said, it's 8 in the morning and it's already like 78 degrees in here. And I have my home thermostat set to 72 or 74, I think. So it just gets too warm up here, with all the sun that it gets. And also some of my plants, they're like, some of my floaters and stuff are looking a tiny bit melty. So I think this tank needs a light if I want all of these plants to make it. So basically, I'm calling this as the winner, the clear winner, but I'm going to have to do something else. Like if it gets too hot up here, I'm just going to have to start moving everybody somewhere else. I'm even seeing more babies as I'm looking at it. They're all over the place. And also, this is only shrimps and snails, and they're just super happy. But I think that I'm going to be putting under gravel filters into pretty much every single tank from now on, because I've just noticed a big difference in the water quality. I don't completely understand the science, but it's a noticeable difference. So anyways, that's the update on this guy. You can see these guys are bright red too. I'm hoping I get some nice sakuras out of this one. Okay, that's it.